their defense carries the load. Kickoff coming up next.
I think what the coaches really are excited to see about Isaiah Crowell is his maturity off the field. Physically, he's got all the tools to be the best running back in the FCS and one of the best running backs in the country with the ability to play in the NFL. But they want to see if his maturity off the field will translate into more production on the field. Talent. Anytime you get selected to be the preseason defensive player of the year from the defensive backfield lets everybody know what type of defensive prowess he possesses. He's got the ability to cover the opposing team's best wide receiver one-on-one. He's going to showcase his skills here today.
Not incredibly humid, but doesn't need to be for it to feel plenty hot at 93 degrees, and it's not gotten any cooler as the afternoon is worn on as we reach 5 o'clock local time here in the capital of Mississippi. Reggie Barlow brings his Alabama State team in his 7th season as head coach. He went 12-21 in his first 3 years, 22-12 in the last 3 seasons plus. And an HBCU coaching legend on the other sideline, Rick Comegee, who's in his 8th season at Jackson State, but his 21st overall as a college head coach. Came over in 06 from Tuskegee, Alabama State's former rival that they used to play in the Turkey Day Classic.
And when you see both coaches, you see coaches that have high expectations, not only for themselves, but for their program. Coach Reggie Barlow for Alabama State's had tremendous success there, but yet is missing that SWAC championship that he wants so bad, taking all the steps in order to get there. And for Rick Comegee, he's won it before, but he hasn't won it in a couple of years, and that's just not acceptable. So you're talking about 2 coaches that have the drive and extra added motivation to win this game and a whole lot more throughout the season.
07, the last SWAC title for Jackson State. For Alabama State, they've only won it twice, 1991 and 2004.
2004, that squad was led by Tavares Jackson, now NFL quarterback, and they got a taste of it with the new facilities and everything that's taking place at Alabama State. They want to get back to the SWAC championship.
Preseason pick to win the SWAC this year. And trying to open the conference schedule with a big road win, while Jackson State, the defending East Division champ, tries to knock off their division rival for a 2nd straight year. That win over Alabama State last year in Montgomery, which came in the final seconds of the game on a Ryan Deasing field goal, that was the difference in getting Jackson State to the SWAC championship over Alabama State. Alabama State won the toss. They'll receive. They send Jarrett Neely back deep with Miles Everett. And we're underway in Jackson, Mississippi. Everett from the 10. Off the left side with room. And Miles Everett with a solid return out to the 46-yard line. Let's look now at our impact players on offense for Alabama State.
The quarterback, Daniel Duhart, taking over for Greg Jenkins from a season ago. He's not the runner that Jenkins was, but he's got a calm, cool, collected presence. He's got to find a way to lead that offense to be an asset to Isaiah Crowell and DeMario Bell as well. Their big play receiver with 4.4 speed. They say he's going to own every receiving record at Alabama State when his career is over. Well, you've got to get it done at the beginning part of your career if you're going to be the all-time greatest.
The Hornets, an up-tempo, balanced spread that led the SWAC, averaging 32 points a game last year. They start off at the 39 with Crowell with a seam and a first down into Jackson State territory on a pickup for 15 yards. Crowell ran for 93 yards last week, but sat most of the second half with injuries.
And when he's motivated and healthy, this is what he can do. Small space right there, one guy to beat, give him a move and a quick stiff arm and lower the shoulder. He's a load to bring down, and you saw flashes there of why he's a special talent.
First pass play of the game, Duhart pulls it down, runs for 4. Coleman Johnson with a stop, and it'll be 2nd down and 6. The Reggie Barlow squad.
Now, what I want to see from Isaiah Crowell this year is a season ago when he broke a long run like that, he would take himself out of the game. Now you see he's remaining in the football game.
Bubble outside to Earl Lucas. And Ted Terrell races over to shove him out with a flag down at the end of the play. Lucas with the first catch for him this season. And we check in with Roderick Holloway.
Personal foul. Face mask. number 41, defense. 15 yards added to the end of the run.
At the very end of the run, Lucas is getting by, and that's a good call by the official. Dangerous face mask committed and a costly penalty versus Jackson State.
And it's called on Ted Terrell, sophomore from right here in Jackson. And quickly, Alabama State has moved into the 25. Snap came before the ball was spotted, ready for play. And Holloway comes running in to reset it with the umpire, Lamont Russell.
Tell right away, offensive coordinator Fred Kice plans on using plenty of tempo versus Jackson State defense. They are running a hurry-up offense, getting plays snapped in a hurry.
Yeah, that up-tempo style, Fred Kice's staple. As Duhar goes back to the ground with Crowell into the teeth of that defense, but a solid gain of 4. The offensive line with a good surge and a group up front that they think can be much better than it was last week.
They can have the mesh. You know, taking on a tough Jacksonville State team down in Alabama, they didn't perform the way they should have. But even with that being said, Crowell almost had 100 yards, and he played only a half of football pretty much. So this is the bunch that's getting better. It was the weakness of the team a season ago. Now it can be one of the strengths.
Duhart with time to throw into the end zone. Caught for a touchdown. It's Marcus Gamble from 21 yards, and Alabama State with a good start.
Taking advantage of the man-to-man coverage, a post route coming from the left side of your screen. Tight end comes underneath, the safety goes with him. That ball was thrown on the money, and a great job by Marcus Gamble making himself big to secure the football.
The junior out of Atlanta, you talked about the size. They think he has the potential to play at the next level. For now, he's got his first touchdown in an Alabama State uniform, and it's 7-0 the Hornets. Well, the Grillin fired up early today for this SWAC opener.
Is that a whole pig?
I think it was. Probably not whole anymore. 7-0 Alabama State. We look how they did it.
But this is a great job by Earl Lucas of getting the assist on the touchdown. Run to be covered. Watch his release. It's his job to distract the free safety. Gets by the linebacker, gets the free safety to go with him, opening up the passing lane for the touchdown by Marcus Gamble. That's good assignment football from an offensive perspective.
A strike from Duhart, giving Gamble his first career touchdown. Here's Tobias Singleton, catch it on the move from the 5. And Jackson State will begin at the 23-yard line. And Clayton Moore will see his first action of the season. The senior out of Louisville, Mississippi, had 400 yards of offense against Alabama State a season ago, but did not start last week. Then banged up with a back injury. They had a freshman of Montez Ivy that we're very excited about, but he's lost for potentially the season with an injury. And Moore thrusted back into the starting spot. Took him to the SWAC championship game last year in his first season since transferring from Akron. And works out of an empty set on first down with a quarterback draw. Moore, a guy that can do it all. Good runner as well. Gets 10 on first down to the 35, and Leland Baker makes the stop.
Watch the center with a good seal block. The center and the guard with a good seal block, trying to get to that second level, not allowing Justin Mitchell to make the tackle. Clayton Moore able to pick up the first down. That's something he needs for his confidence to get going.
Over 600 yards and 11 touchdowns rushing last year. 5-man rush is picked up, but the throw is behind Deshaun McKenzie, 2nd and 10.
And why I say that's important for Clayton Moore for his confidence, he's getting a start. And yes, he started in the SWAC championship game, but this is a quarterback that was beaten out in football camp, in the training camp. Losing your job to a freshman has to bring in a little bit of doubt in your mind. So I think it's imperative that he gets off to a good start early to show his teammates that he can lead this team the rest of the way.
Tommy Gooden motions into the backfield. First time they've had a running back in 3 plays. And on 2nd and 10, Gooden with his first touch runs into a wall for a yard. And it'll be 3rd down and 9 as Derek Billups got in there on the stop.
Something you'll see from Alabama State this season that's different from a season ago is a new defensive philosophy. They brought in a new defensive coordinator in Kevin Ramsey, whereas last year's defensive staff was more zone principle. When you talk about Kevin Ramsey's defense, it's pressure, pressure, and more pressure everywhere on the field.
Everybody within 7 yards of the ball on this third down play. Man breaks loose. Overshoots him. Had a wide open man down the center of the field, but overshot Perkins, the Seldom Used junior from Indiana.
This is one where you want. They anticipated the pressure. The middle of the field was out wide open. He's going to have time. As a quarterback, you get this much time, and a guy running that wide open, you've got to hit that pass. That's just a huge opportunity that's gone by the wayside.
And so the Tigers to punt it away. Darcy Williamson, left-footed kicker out of Australia, sends it back to Malcolm Cyrus. From the 10, Cyrus making a man miss and getting 6 yards to the 16. So that's where Alabama State will take over for its second possession. 5 plays, 61-yard touchdown drive that lasted less than 2 minutes to begin the game.
Very impressive, and if you're Alabama State, you have to like everything you were able to accomplish in your first offensive possession. Isaiah Crowell got his touches, picked up the tough yards, and a great poise shown by Daniel Duhart on the touchdown strike. Let's see if they can continue.
From the 16-yard line, the fake to Crowell, the give to the Crowell, who breaks out of a couple of tables and takes off. Isaiah Crowell.
It's over.
84 yards for the touchdown.
Is he answering all the questions that they might have had some doubt whether or not he was motivated? The maturity is showing on the field for Isaiah Crowell as he simply bulldozes his way through arm tacklers from Jackson State. The read option, he gets to the outside, finds a crease, lowers his shoulder, keeps the legs going, and look at the vision and the strength to realize it becomes a foot race, and all you see is tailbone and elbows as he's on his way to the end zone.
And Bobby Wenzig adds the extra point. Alabama State has run 6 plays and scored 2 touchdowns. An early season SWAC showdown with potential postseason implications going the way of the Hornets early. Alabama State has run 6 plays and scored 2 touchdowns. The second from Isaiah Crowell, who's got 3 rushes for 102 yards to begin. You go back to 2011, coming out of high school at Columbus Carver in Georgia. He was a number 4 player in the country and obviously went to Georgia, was the SEC Freshman of the Year before running into some trouble with the law, had a failed drug test, and transferred to Alabama State prior to last season. But some pretty good company that he was a part of.
Clown is obviously going to be a first-round pick. Quanjo at Alabama's going to be a first-round pick. Johnson's got talent. Isaiah Crowell reminded America not to forget about him as well.
Jarius Moore, true freshman, with a return of 14 yards to the 19. And Elias Well makes the special teams tackle for the Hornets. How important for Jackson State 3+ minutes into this game to put together some kind of drive here.
If it looks like your defense is going to struggle early on trying to solve the riddle that is Isaiah Crowell, then you need the offense to march the ball down the field, take a little time off the clock, allow your defense to make some adjustments and rest. And if you're Clayton Moore, you've got to hit some passes.
They've had him spread out in their first 2 possessions here. Empty set on first down with heat coming. Moore off his back foot, lofts one into coverage and incomplete.
That's offensive pass interference.
With a flag down as Courtney Berry applied the pressure.
Michael Perkins did a push-off like he was going to grab a rebound for the putback.
Pass interference. Number 16.
Oh, wow. I got to see that again.
First down.
DeAndre Rashada, junior safety, gets called.
Let's take a look at this one. From our view, I saw number 80, Perkins, clearly. Ball's going to be thrown in the middle. Little contact there, but that's not the contact. There's no flag. Now watch this. That's a push.
They call it on Berry, who is to the left, or they call it on Rashada, who is to the left of your screen. So it wasn't on that takeoff you saw down the seam.
Okay.
As it stands, a 15-yard penalty and a first down at the 34 for Jackson State. They continue to empty it out. Alabama State continues to show pressure. This time they bring 4. Berry gets to him, but he gets rid of it. And to the near side with close to a first down pickup is Michael Perkins, who is the guy that was loose for what would have been a long touchdown last drive.
And great poise by Clayton Moore. They're going to bring the blitz right up the middle. Courtney Berry's going to blitz 32 coming up. Go where the linebacker blitzes you from. Replace him in the coverage. Great recognition, a way to stand tall in the pocket by Clayton Moore. And this is the block that'll get you oohing and ahhing.
Still out of the empty from the 44. Gooden will join Moore in the backfield for 1st and 10.
They are not laying off this pressure. No matter how far Jackson State tries to spread them out, Alabama State won't budge. They're going to bring those blitzing linebackers.
7 come. They loft it downfield, and Pendleton's got it in stride. Touchdown, Jackson State. 56 yards.
That was great quarterback play, Joe, by Clayton Moore. Realizing that the pressure was coming, they weren't going to stop. Put an extra defender in the block and hung tall in the pocket, deliver the strike.
Extra point coming here for Ryan Deasing. Jackson State responds. Alabama State continues to bring pressure, and Moore beat it.
And what you have to do as a quarterback, you become effective when you know the blitz is coming. It's man-to-man coverage. Take advantage at the receiver running at the middle of your screen above the logo. He beats his man off the jam. A perfectly thrown ball in stride, which enabled JSU to put a touchdown on the board. That's what you have to do. And I will say, as a former quarterback, I didn't become an effective quarterback until I stopped fearing the blitz and anticipated the blitz. As a quarterback, if you can feel comfortable throwing when the blitz is coming, knowing your protection, you can attack them very effectively. And Clayton Moore did a great job playing quarterback that last series. Blitz is going to be man-to-man coverage, but once you can find the matchup, you can pick apart a defense.
Jared Neely retreating from the 8-yard line. And Neely pulled down at the 32 by Quay Cox, the SWAC Defensive Player of the Year in the preseason with a special teams tackle. And Isaiah Crowell and Alabama State will come back out. Crowell is already over 100 yards on the evening, and he's now gone over 1,000 in his year plus in an Alabama State uniform. But instead of Crowell, it'll be Malcolm Cyrus, who's overshadowed because of everything Crowell does, but Cyrus very good in his own right. They start with a bubble screen. This is Earl Lucas. But a great job of defeating the blocks from the defenders of Jackson State. And that's Antonio Sutton, a sophomore out of Miami, pile driving him down, no gain, 2nd and 10.
That is called finishing off a tackle. He gets caught in no man's land, and Sutton drives right through him.
Duhart with all kinds of time. He'll dump it off to Cyrus, who sticks the shoulder down and gets 8. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Quay Cox pushed him out of bounds.
Now, if I'm Alabama State, I want to be careful here. 2 consecutive plays, 2 passes. I don't know if you want to get in a shootout versus Jackson State the way they've been throwing the football.
And the way you've been able to run the ball if you're the Hornets.
You start to question, why go away from what's working? You showed success running the football with Isaiah Crowell. Every now and then you got to keep feeding the big dog if he's hungry.
Reggie Barlow's team coming into this drive was averaging about 25 yards a play. 3 touchdowns in the first 5 minutes of this game. And the touchdowns have averaged more than 50 yards apiece.
This is a big 3rd down. Early in this game, they had a 14-point lead. Now it's 14-7. They need to pick up this 3rd down and cool off the Jackson State offense.
They were not good on 3rd down in the loss against Jacksonville State last week. Duhart stands in, throws, and it's intercepted. Off of the hands of Bell and picked off by Jackson State. That's John McNabb with his first interception. And Jackson State takes over at the 30.
And the slant route was there. This ball's thrown with a lot of velocity, but this is the catch that Bell has to make. Tip drill, blue jerseys swarm around the football, shows blockers. Jackson State has seized momentum in this football game. I mean, the ball was thrown on the money, but it was thrown awfully hard for a receiver that close to you.
The senior out of Hattiesburg sets Jackson State up at the 30, and they go out of the empty set again.
Look at all the zone coverage you notice now from Alabama State.
And so with the box a little less crowded, they go with a quarterback draw, but more swallowed up after a yard by Justin Mitchell, who's in his first stint as a full-time starter. Many of the guys on this Alabama State defense are 8 new starters from a season ago.
And with the new defensive coordinator coming in, they all had to buy into each other and evaluate the talent. I think they're learning on the fly who can play man-to-man coverage and who can't.
Second down and 9. Four-man pressure, picked up easily. Moore leaks out with his eyes downfield. And Moore will stick his nose down and get a couple, making it 3rd and 6 or 7 as Leland Baker came over and made the stop. At 400 yards of total offense against Alabama State last year, threw for 269, ran for 131. Had 5 touchdowns in that game, 2 through the air, 3 on the ground. And has it 3rd down and 6 from the 27. Hornets show pressure. The twist is picked up. That one's intercepted. Michael Sowers set it the opposite way. And Sowers brings it back to the 33. First interception for the junior that stood out to the Jackson State staff on film. And Jackson State turns it right back to the Hornets, who have now forced a turnover in 41 of the last 43 games.
And you can see they started to look uncomfortable when they played zone, and Showers just did a good job of reading the eyes of the quarterback, and Clayton Moore threw it right to him. Once they stopped blitzing and went to the zone, it seemed as if that threw Jackson State off guard, and they couldn't make the adjustments. Turnover by the Tigers.
Boy, it didn't take long, though, for Alabama State to change its plan.
Get out of that blitz and go to the zone.
Corral back in the game, and with the ball on first down, running strong for 7 yards.
And those are the plays that Isaiah Crowell needs to learn to make over and over again. They're not sexy. They're not the bounce to the outside, make 4 or 5 guys miss. Those are tough yards that you need to pick up on first down in order to be a successful running back.
They go back to him on 2nd and short, and he's close to a first down at the 43 with a stop from Coleman Johnson.
And you can't do that in the NFL, but on this level of football, if you can show the ability to move the pile, 2 runs, pick up 9.5 yards on a consistent basis, that's how you dominate on this level, and that can translate in the NFL to show that you can run in between the tackles.
3rd down and short here, and the intent all along has been for him to spend 2 years at Alabama State and then declare for the draft. Is that one of the things he's got to get better at as he moves to the NFL, running between the tackles?
Sure, because the NFL doesn't draft folks for speed alone. I mean, there's speed everywhere in the National Football League. And even a guy like Darren Sproles, who's small in nature, he's able to make it in the NFL because he can run in between the tackles. And so that's why a guy like Crowell has to show you've got the speed, but when it's time to mix it up and challenge a linebacker in the hole, you've got what it takes to get that forward lean to pick up 2 or 3 yards on a consistent basis.
5'11", 190. Great speed, dangerous on the outside, improving between the tackles. One thing he's got is good vision on the inside.
You know, that's the key what makes a good running back. Having the vision and the speed to go with it. He's got the total package.
Duhart under siege and dropped back at the 42 by Cedric Hogan, who picks up his first sack of the season. Now, Jackson State defensively experienced in the back 7, but 4 new starters on that D-line.
And they're going to try and bring the pressure. Look at Crowell come around and get the protection. Now, what you like to see is he had to go all the way across the formation to block the outside linebacker coming from the end. And One thing Jackson State's going to do with a coach like Rick Comeges, they're going to bring defensive pressure from their front four.
That one behind DeMario Bell as Duhar threw off his back foot. Quay Cox in coverage, 3rd down and 12. Injured player for Jackson State. That's John McNabb. The interception on the previous drive. One of the vocal leaders of this group, and Rick Comegy says he loves to coach. As they take a look at John McNabb, we look a little more at Isaiah Crowell out of Columbus Carver High School, who's one of the top recruits in the nation for good reason.
Yeah, that was him. You see him bouncing to the outside, using his speed to really get there and accumulate yards. Then he got in the SEC. They're going to make you run in between the tackles in the SEC, showing that he can do it. And that's where you earn your stripes, being able to do that. But he's always got that speed. And that's a great weapon to be able to have, to keep that in your back pocket, the ability at the snap of a finger to turn on the jets and get to the outside.
At 850 yards as a freshman when he was the SEC Freshman of the Year, but left school after a failed drug test and several run-ins with the law. And by all accounts, has continued to mature since he's gotten to Montgomery.
And the coaches have noticed that, and the time he's been in Montgomery, they've noticed when he first got there, they've seen more maturity from him from just a year ago, and that's a good sign for that young man.
Duhart throws into coverage, and it's incomplete. It'll be 4th down. By the way, John McNabb did get up under his own power, walk off the field.
Now, who's been the best player we've seen in this football game thus far?
Isaiah Crowell.
How many times did he touch it that last series?
Once, twice?
Not once. 3 downs. They didn't give him the ball after they got the first down.
Right,
They took him out.
That's set it down.
Why go 3 straight consecutive downs without Isaiah Crowell touching the football when he's that good? I know you don't want to put too much wear on his body, but in this type of football game, you've got to let him play.
That ball pops loose, but a fair catch had been called. As a true freshman, Daniel Williams is over there. And Roderick Holloway to get together with his crew and finalize this call.
Pass interference, kick catch interference, 21 on the kicking team. 15 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st down, Jackson State.
It's DeAndre Silman, and it looks like Coach Barlow is wondering how well he actually signaled for the fair catch. A lot of offense early in this SWAC opener. Offensive battle so far. 3 touchdowns in the first 5 minutes of this game, and Alabama State with a 14-7 lead in Jackson, Mississippi on a hot September day. Jackson State empties it out once again. Alabama State is backed off pressure-wise some, but they bring it here on 1st down and 10 with a flag down, and a strong throw to Tobias Singleton for a 1st down. He got 13 before Nick Martin threw him to the ground. Likely was a free play anyways, with Leland Baker coming off the edge. There's D coordinator Kevin Ramsey.
Offside. Number 50, defense. That penalty is declined. Results of the play. 1st down.
Spent the last 4 years at Texas Southern. Twice led FCS and total defense there with his aggressive style.
Very aggressive, but the one time I saw Texas Southern get torched offensively was here in the game against Jackson State with Casey Terrio. Figured he would kind of learn his lesson, and they're just not playing good blitz defense right now at Alabama State. Play zone, and that seems to be giving them the most success.
Singleton again against Martin and fighting his way close to a 1st down. Now, they're not getting home when they're not bringing the extra man.
Yeah, and that's the key. So I think if you can just have your guys maybe move up a step in their zone coverage, not allow the wide receivers to have a free release, you can still play zone coverage and just shorten the distance between the cornerbacks and the wide receivers.
Spotted him a bit short, 2nd down and less than a yard.
So there's too much cushion. They've got too much cushion between the receivers and the defensive backs right now, so they're going to get pretty clean releases just to run routes.
Or to the short side with a dangerous throw. Martin broke on the speed out from Singleton, and it's 3rd and short. This Alabama State defense having to replace 8 starters. You've got Jones, who returns up front. Baker, the linebacker, returns. Rashada returns in the secondary, but everybody else combined just spot duty so far.
13 starts. That's a very youthful Alabama State Hornet defense. And they're going to go through their growing pains, and they're going to have to learn this new defensive scheme. But they seem to think that they've got some talented replacements that have come in there with guys like Courtney Berry, the true freshman linebacker that's starting for them at the Mike position.
Moore sneaks it for a first down, so the drive continues to the 43. There is Courtney Berry out of Maryville, Indiana. Redshirt freshman, they say, is already the quarterback of this defense.
Bringing the pressure again.
That one got away from Moore, picked it up, and Houston in one-on-one coverage. It was out of bounds, and Martin defending Singleton, and it's 2nd down and 10.
This is old school SWAC football you're seeing right now. I mean, the SWAC was known for playing man-to-man, bump-and-run coverage across the field, and that's what Alabama State is trying to do. If that had not been a high snap, that was another touchdown on a go route to the outside. In today's college football landscape, I just see it almost impossible to have a defense that blitzes more than 65% of the time. It's like you live by the sword, you die by the sword, but they're not listening to me. They're lining up to bring more pressure again.
2nd down and 10, nobody deep. They do bring 6. Baker gets home, but Moore gets rid of it to Singleton. And Singleton with speed stumbles inside the 25. That's a gain of 19, and once again, Moore does well to get rid of it right before the pressure gets home.
I mean, great job by Clayton Moore buying a little bit of time, leaving the pocket. They've got a free rusher that's not covered in the protection-wise. He feels it, steps aside, one-on-one coverage, underthrown ball. They were fortunate that Singleton fell down because he could have picked up another 10 or 15 yards. That's too much man-to-man pressure, too much stress you're putting on your defensive backfield.
From the 24, 1st down and 10. They empty it out again. Only 4-man pressure this time, and Moore takes off on a quarterback draw. Spins off a defender, breaks a tackle, and gets a first down. Carlton Jones came to get him after 11 yards of hard-fought running.
Clayton Moore recognizing when they go with the spread-out offense, he becomes the running game. With no linebackers in the middle of the field, he says, okay, I'm going to be responsible for running the football. Gets by the defensive line, great spin move, and what an effort here to continue to keep his legs moving and to pick up a first down.
They've run 16 plays now, 10 passes, 5 more runs.
And look at all this man-to-man coverage we're seeing across the board. Every wide receiver's got man-to-man coverage.
Moore trying to beat it to the corner. And out of bounds, looking for Pendleton. With the coverage from with the coverage from DeAndre Rashada and Carlton Jones, the pressure.
Just missed on this one. He got open. Had the ball been thrown a little bit sooner, he beat his man one-on-one. Just missed by about a couple yards on the outside. That's one of those warning shots. If a team just misses and you play man-to-man, next time out you need to change your coverage and go to some zone because they figured out what you're doing schematically with the blitz.
From the 14, Moore pulls it on a zone read. And Clayton Moore sticks his nose down to the 5, where he's a yard short of the first down. Tackle made by Nizie Bright with Roderick Henderson. It'll be 3rd and 1. This is a guy that they designed this offense around. He's a good thrower, and he's an underrated runner. Had 11 rushing touchdowns last year. Third down and 1. Under center for only the 2nd time. And they've done the same thing both times he's been under center. Quarterback sneak. Edward Mosley slipped off the end and made the stop. And Moore a little bit slow to get up.
It's going to be close. It's a little bit short. Decision time.
They don't even want a measurement. Now the officials do, but Clayton Moore was waving the officials to the sideline saying, let's run the play. Tough kid.
Tough kid. He's showing it. Anytime as a quarterback, you assume the responsibility of the running game. You know you're going to get hit, but he doesn't seem to let that affect him. He's continued to run the football in a very aggressive manner, and I'm very impressed with how he stood up to the pressure being put on by this swarming Hornet defense with all the blitz looks he's seen thus far.
And as Moore assumed, it is just short. So 4th down and close to a yard. Another season and another year of ESPNU featuring the most thorough college football show in the land, and BCS Countdown with in-depth analysis, discussion of the standings, potential impact of upcoming games, and more. You won't want to go anywhere else. BCS Countdown presented by Allstate, Monday at 6 on ESPNU and live on Watch ESPN. So a pivotal play early in this game. The 11th play of the drive will have Clayton Moore under center out of the I formation. It takes a snap, sneaks for a first down. 1st and goal, Jackson State. No deception there. That's a challenge to the offensive line to pick up a yard.
It is, and you get the feeling that they don't practice many run plays from underneath the center. When Clayton Moore gets the ball under center, I'd be surprised to see him hand off to somebody else. This is an offense that's more comfortable with him in the shotgun.
Fullback in the game now, and Stedman Kapler. He'll lead the way for Gooden, who's upended inside the 5. Najee Bright with a stop, and it'll be 2nd down and goal.
Watch the quarterback sneak here again. If he lines up under center, you want to have those defensive linemen pinched down to the inside, not to allow the quarterback to get a low leverage.
It's Gooden again. Stood up at the goal line. And he is short of it, but he is in for the touchdown.
This was a collision at the goal line. Mano a mano, Courtney Berry, the freshman, learning what college football is all about, going against the senior, Tommy Gooden. Gooden delivers one blow, keeps his leg going, and turns and gets across the goal line.
So Gooden with his first rushing touchdown of the season.
I mean, look at the instinct by Berry to fill the hole. Good leverage, but that's just a case of where he's just a freshman, not quite strong enough to take on a senior seasoned running back. And Tommy Gooden, and Gooden breaks the plane right there with the ball and his right elbow across the goal line. That's good, hard-nosed goal line running.
And he had to know all about hard-nosed last week. Ran it 20 times and picked up a total of 57 yards on those 20 carries against Tulane. So they are going to go upstairs and take a look.
And that's of note of all the FCS conferences, the MEAC and the SWAC conference have instant replay on their televised games. Normally throughout the FCS regular season, other schools won't have that, other conferences won't, until you get to postseason play, but taking advantage of the technology that's made available for televised games on HBCU football, they do have instant replay capability.
And it has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field, which is a touchdown. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out and confirmed this call. Confirms means they have video evidence that it was the right call. Stands means they don't have enough evidence to overturn it.
When you see the replay there, it does look close. I mean, if you look at his knee, it gets turned around. His backside.
After further review, the ruling on the play stands. Touchdown.
So didn't have enough to overturn it. Call stands. And Gooden with a touchdown. Rick Comedy's team now an extra point from erasing an early 14-0 deficit. Extra point from Ryan Deesing. Out of the hold of Tevin Chapman. And we're even at 14 apiece. Well, ESPNU is the home for passionate
And win the throw. This game is all knotted up, and it's been a very exciting first quarter, to say the least.
Ryan Deesing sends it away. And a short kick to be taken at the 15-yard line by Miles Everett. And Everett with another solid return got tripped up at the 32. Well, the story early for Alabama State has been Isaiah Crowell, the Georgia transfer. Just been a matter of giving the ball to him.
When he's touched it, he's had success every time. And I think he's got to continue to feed him. He's running like a man possessed this afternoon. I would keep getting him the football. He showed you everything that makes him as good as we've heard about his ability to be in the fantastic offseason that he had. It's just a matter of when they come back on the field, are they going to feed the ball to Isaiah Crowell?
5 carries, 115 yards. And again, he's on the sideline to begin this possession. I know they like Malcolm Cyrus as they bring Arsenio Favor into the game at quarterback. And Favor keeping it off that zone read play. On his first play as a Hornet for 7 yards, Ryan Griffin shoves him out. And Arsenio Favor, redshirt junior from Montgomery, Alabama, who started his career at Southern Miss, had knee surgery in the spring that put him behind some in the race that went through the fall. Offensive coordinator Fred Kais said this week that they would both play. On second down, he was going to pull it again, a flag down.
Brought to the snap. False start. 89. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Justin Robinson, who was in there as a fullback.
And this is a tough position for Arsenio Favor to come into the game. This is a conference road game, and a game that's very competitive. You know, obviously you want to get to the football game and participate, but, you know, this is a crucial time in this football game. Jackson State has seized momentum from Alabama State after erasing a 14-point lead. This is the Alabama State offense that needs to put some points on the board, and they don't have Isaiah Crowell on the field right now.
Favor back to throw for the first time. Chucks it down for Robinson, his tight end. Made a man miss to get a first down to the 46-yard line. Ryan Griffin made the tackle after 10 yards on Robinson's first catch.
And look at the protection he gets up front. 4-man rush, nice pocket, resets his feet, delivers a strike. Strongly thrown ball, allowing Robinson the ability to make the catch and run after the catch to pick up the first down.
Another quick throw. This one complete. It's Jamel Johnson, transfer from Troy, getting 9 yards, and Cameron Loeffler making the stop. So Favor in the game with Duhart having struggled some on his last couple of drives. Duhart had started 4 for 4, but since is 0 of 3 with a pick. Second down and short. And Favor keeps it when he probably should have given on the zone read. Lost a yard. It'll be 3rd and 2. Todd Wiltshire made the tackle. Out of the pistol on 3rd down. Cyrus made a nice cut, but was stopped short. And a possession with Isaiah Crowell on the sideline has stalled at the 45. It'll be 4th down and a yard and a half. And Reggie Barlow sends the punt team out.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one there. And this Alabama State offense, 14 points showed it wasn't going to be enough. And the type of football game this is setting up to be, rotating quarterbacks, rotating running backs, Jackson State and head coach Rick Comegy have to feel comfortable with the position their team is in right now.
And Wenzig, one of the top punters in the nation, regardless of level, just shanked that one. And Jackson State will have excellent field position on what they rule as a punt with a net of about 8 yards.
Bobby Wenzig, too good a punter to have that happen, but Every now and then you get the shanks. Even good golfers do that. I've seen Tiger Woods miss a couple. Winded missed there at an inopportune time for Alabama State.
You take a shot here if you're Jackson State, first play with the momentum.
I take what the defense gives me. If they show me blitzing, I'm going up top. If I see man-to-man coverage, I'm going up top. And it looks like you're going to see more man-to-man coverage with blitz. So, Joe, I would take a shot.
From the 38 out of an empty set, pressure comes, and Moore throws one that's deflected and incomplete. Was going down to his backside and tried to get rid of it. Was able to, but it was broken up. Maurice Tate got his hands on it.
This time the blitzing linebacker came free. Moore was able to avoid the sack and get rid of the football.
Beg your pardon, it was Tate that applied the pressure. Washington, the one that knocked it down. 2nd and 10.
Now you're starting to get the feeling that Alabama State figured out the blocking schemes of Jackson State, so they're going back to bringing pressure. So if you're Jackson State, what do? Move the pocket. Anytime a team is blitzing, they're blitzing towards a quarterback that's sitting in the pocket. If you move the pocket to one side or the other, they won't be there. You buy yourself a little bit more time and allow your wide receivers that extra second to get open.
6 come again off his back foot, trying to beat the blitz. Incomplete. Baker with a pressure as he lofted one downfield for Michael Perkins. 3rd and 10.
And the pressure's coming. This is where you have to earn your scholarship as a quarterback. You know you're going to get hit, but the opportunity for the big play was there. You've got to get rid of the football, and you saw right there, that was the first time we've seen Clayton Moore kind of wince in the pressure coming in front of him. Had he stood a little bit stronger in the pocket, might have been able to deliver a more accurate ball for a big play downfield.
Two high safeties this time, and they drop 8 into coverage off of the hands of McKenzie. And then DeAndre Rashada delivered a blowout of the secondary. That's a 3-and-out. Punting comes out for JSU.
These teams are going at it right now. I mean, the defenses are challenging each other. The offense is putting pressure on them. This is good old-fashioned SWAC football.
Malcolm Cyrus back to receive the punt from Darcy Williamson. A good one from the lefty. Fair catch signaled for, and it's fumbled inside the 30. Somehow he got back on top of it, and Alabama State will have the ball. That brings his first quarter, which seems like it's been going for hours, to an end. 28 points in this opening stanza, and a critical early season SWAC showdown with potential postseason implications. On to the second at Jackson. After a quarter, 14-14 in this early season SWAC matchup between two teams that have tied at the top of the East Division 3 straight years. From the 26, Duhart back in the game at quarterback. They set up a screen that's quickly shut down. That's Javancy Jones, a true freshman at defensive end, with a stop for a loss.
This is just sniffing it out. Running back screen. Javancy Jones plays it perfectly. Eludes the blocker, finds where the running back is, the receiver, and puts a good pop on him when he catches the ball.
So one series for Favor, bringing Duhart back in. He'll swing it to Corwell, who's back in the game, and don't give him too much space. 10 yards across the 30. Actually spot him short of the 30. And it'll be 3rd down and 7 or 8.
I mean, just a little swing pass, and he had everybody on the stadium on the edge of their seat. And he's that type of talent. Until he tells me he starts tapping that helmet, I'm going to find some ways to get him the ball on a more consistent basis.
Duhart to the short side for Robinson. They needed 7. He threw it about a 4-yard out. Loeffler pushed him out of bounds, so the punt team will come out. Keep this in mind with Corwell. Again, he missed the whole second half last week with his knee and his foot bothering him. So you wonder if perhaps the plan is to ease him back and not put too much of a load on him fresh off those injuries.
I understand that, but he wants to win football games. You know, and one thing we've known for the number of times we covered Crowell last year, when it's a TV game, he shows up big time. I mean, he likes to play on the big stages.
From the 24-yard line. Turned back across the 40 by Kennard Brown. The Jackson State back on offense, trying to take its first lead. Back on ESPN, college football prime time, presented by McDonald's. Good one going here in Jackson, Mississippi. Tied at 14, and you know what time it is. Jay, give me 5.
You got it, Joe. Top 5 must-see HBUC football games this season, according to me. I think on the bubble, Southern and Grambling, not a lot of implications for that game, but it is the bye. You got to see it. South Carolina State versus North Carolina A&T. Those are two good football teams. Number 4, JSU versus Arkansas Pine Bluff. It'll be a rematch of last year's SWAC championship game. That's going to be a good one. Got to see it. Number 3, Howard versus A&T. 20-year anniversary, what many people call a memorable game that involved yours truly, Jay Skywalker, versus two competitive football teams. That's a must-see game this year.
We'll get your final 2 after we get the call here as Darius Washington came flying off at the edge.
Quarterback 17 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
All right, so let's see your top 2 now.
What do you think number 2 is,
Correct.
Joe? You could probably figure
I'm
it
going to
out.
go Florida A&M, Bethune-Cookman.
You saw the graphic, the Florida Classic. You got the feeling that something's going to be on the line that last weekend in Orlando. And number 1, I'm going to let you guess it. I think you've been around long enough to figure out what it is, because there's one big game missing. We'll see if you come up with it after this play.
You want me to wait for the end of the play? Because I think I've got it. Rakeem Sims checks in for the first time this year. They drop it off to him on a draw. Sims, some strong running for 4 to be second down and 1. Magic City Classic.
You learn. You're a good study. The Magic City Classic is the must-see game this year. This Alabama State team, we know how good they are. Isaiah Crowell, Anthony Jones, and the Bulldogs. Some people have them ranked as one of the top 2 or 3 teams in all of black college football. We'll see October 26th.
So Sims stays in there, and Moore keeps it to get a first down inside the 45. Sims wearing 33 in blue, missed the opener with an injury, but a guy that ran for close to 800 yards last year was their leading rusher. Not a blazer, but a guy with great vision that they really like to compliment Tommy Good.
And what they do is, you can tell from their offensive philosophy with offensive coordinator Derek McCall, spread you out, and when they run the football, it's going to be a power running game. They want to run downhill when they get you to vacate the box with those linebackers and have running lanes that their running backs can just run north-south.
From the 43, more pressure, picked up, Moore with a chance to take a shot. Singleton has it go through his hands. One-on-one with Martin, who might have fanned out at himself, and it's 2nd and 10.
They got the one-on-one matchup, and they brought in Sims to beef up in the backfield. Good time with the blitz. Good blitz pickup. Just missed on the throw. Almost another big play.
Alabama State showing some blitz again, with only 3 down linemen in the 2nd and 10 play. Sims joins Moore in the backfield. They bring that heat. Option play.
Fumble.
Moore dropped the football as he surged past the 40. Alabama State has it. Jackson State turned it over 6 times last week. They turned it over as much as anybody in the country last year. One of the things they've got to solve if they're going to make that next step.
They're trying to run the option, and once you get by the second level, protect the football. And it just seemed like he didn't know where the defender was coming from. That might have been a leg that kicked that ball out of his grasp. But these are the same mistakes they made last week versus Tulane. It wasn't a hard hit on the football, but it became dislodged. Versus Tulane in the loss last week, they were able to move the
Ruling
football.
on the play that it's a fumble recovered by Alabama State. The previous play is under review.
Derek Billups jarred it loose. Nick Martin recovered it. Yeah, they outgained Tulane, but they turned the ball over 6 times. They're going to take a look at this. We'll step aside while they do. Looks looks like it'll stand up, and Reggie Barlow's team will be back on offense.
Alabama State's ball, 1st and 10.
All right, so Roderick Holloway confirms that Alabama State did fall on that and forced the fumble before Clayton Moore's knee hit the ground. And Rick Comegie's seen this before. 6 turnovers last week in the loss against Tulane. Alabama State with the ball again, and Arsenio Favor back in the game, given to Isaiah Crowell, who was knocked down by Coleman Johnson after 5 yards. 2nd down and 5. Cedric Hogan also in there on the stop. Alabama State in its first 2 possessions average about a quarter of the field per play. In 4 drives since, 2.5 yards a play. Favor will give it straight ahead. Corral nearly broke through again. Ankle tackle from Cameron Loeffler and Ariane McCree, but enough for a 1st down.
I mean, his presence on the field alone opens up the passing lane. It gets the offensive line motivated to block even better for him because they know he's got the ability every time he touches the ball to break away.
Cedric Terrell stops Crowell on this 1st down gain of 7, 2nd and 3.
What does he gain? With 6 yards, 7 yards, and 7 yards? Like it's nothing. Keep feeding them, and then when they bring the extra defender in the box close to the line of scrimmage, then you go away from them.
Favor keeps this one. Keeps the legs turning to get him close to a 1st down. They spot him just inside the 40 with Robert Smith picking up the tackle. And it looks like it'll be 3rd down and less than a yard.
If you want to give him a blow on 3rd and 1, this is the time that you do it. If you've got a running back that's capable or quarterback that's capable of running a sneak to pick up the 1 yard, it's just a quick blow to get some water, and then you want him back on the field.
With Malcolm Cyrus in the game now. And it looks like they will measure. They need to be just by the 39. And by the spot, clearly short. So it'll be 3rd down and less than a yard. I've got plenty of good action for you. HBCU games on ESPNU next weekend. Alabama State back on ESPNU as they take on defending SWAC champ Arkansas Pine Bluff up in Pine Bluff.
That'll be a good one, and Monty Coleman's team needs to get going right now. They're off to a slow start, taking on some games that are higher level competition. They need to start off winning their SWAC opener.
That runs through the next month. We've got you covered on ESPNU. Out of the gun on 3rd and short. Favor keeps it and gets a 1st down. Got a cut block from Malcolm Cyrus. And then Loeffler combined with Woods for the tackle. Alabama State keeps the drive alive.
That was good, but see, the key in college football, 1st down is so important. I need Crowell on the field for 1st down. I don't want to have to settle for throwing wide receiver screens on 1st down, although that was a fantastic job by Jared Neely of picking up positive yardage. It's so crucial that you gain positive yards on 1st down. I think that's when you need Crowell the most, on 1st and 2nd down.
He got 7 before Ryan Griffin made the tackle. Here's Malcolm Cyrus with a good burst for a 1st down to the 21. Gain of 7 yards, and Loeffler with the tackle again. Isaiah Crowell comes back into the game.
Wow, that was offside.
And it's a free play for Favor, who should just go down at this point. But yeah, John McNabb had fired through before the ball was even snapped. It'll be an offsides, and it'll be 1st and 5.
Offside. 28. Defense. 5-yard penalty.
Injured player for Jackson State. And training staff comes to take a look at one of the defensive linemen for the Tigers. An area where they already have 4 new starters. They graduated 8 players that contributed on the defensive line last year.
That's the one area where JSU cannot afford any injuries. It's at the defensive lineman position.
We'll step aside, try and figure out who that is during the break. When we come back, we'll look at some news and notes across FCS. What a start to the season for the little guys. That was senior Robert Smith that was injured, helped off of the field in a tie game here in the second. As we look at our FCS news and notes, 8 FCS teams with wins over FBS opponents during week 1. And that included, of course, Eastern Washington over Oregon State, as Vernon Adams set a school record with more than 500 total yards. We saw him last year in the FCS semi against Sam Houston State, led a monster comeback in the second half.
He's on fire, and he showed everybody in college football what he can do. But Towson and Northern Iowa, I want you to keep an eye on the name Terrence West, running back from Towson. He could be the guy that walks away with the Peyton Award this year, if this young man doesn't.
Walks away with a first down. Loeffler with another tackle. They spot him right at the 10. And it'll be first down and goal for Alabama State.
And I think if they were to give Isaiah Crowell enough carries, he could legitimately be a candidate for the Peyton Award as well. I mean, they haven't had a running back in the SWAC with this talent in quite some time.
Swarmed on first down, lost a couple of yards. It was Javancy Jones out of his defensive end spot with another tackle. So second and goal now for Alabama State, a team that was in the top 10 nationally last year in red zone offense. Both teams have gotten it done with a big plays so far today. Second down and goal. Here's Crowell hitting that seam hard, but it closed quickly. Back to the original line of scrimmage. A little bit short of it. Third down and goal from the 11 as Wilcher and Johnson combine in the stop. 140 yards. He was over 100 on his first 3 carries. Went 76 yards for a touchdown that made it 14-0 Alabama State. Less than 5 minutes into the game, Jackson State has tied it up.
And that's the look I saw there. You saw Malcolm Cyrus start running onto the field. Isaiah Crowell waved him off like, I'm okay. That's what they want to see from a workhorse running back.
Alabama State.
First timeout used by Reggie Barlow in this first half.
And Barlow knows he's got a special talent there. When you're on the road in conference play, points come at a premium. You want to score the touchdown, but you cannot be careless with the football. If you have to settle for a field goal, at least you've got the lead. You're putting more pressure on the home team.
We've been talking about Crowell and all he's done as a running back. Folks around here in Jackson know little something about good running backs. How about Sweetness? Played here in the early 70s. Ran for 3,500 yards. What was then an NCAA record, 65 touchdowns. And it was inducted into the inaugural class of the Black College Football Hall of Fame in 2010.
He's an awesome one. And if you come down to Jackson, they've got the Walter Payton Wellness Center on campus there, paying tribute to what many believe is the greatest running back of all time. Also had his brother, Eddie Payton, who's currently the golf coach down here at Jackson State as well. So the name Payton has a long-lasting legacy here in Jackson, Mississippi.
Third down and goal. Favor is out. Duhart is back in. In more of a passing situation, Duhart has proven to be the better thrower. Jackson State brings pressure. Duhart throws back, incomplete, looking for Justin Robinson. And it's fourth down and goal.
Tried to go with a throwback screen to the tight end, Justin Robinson. Ball slightly underthrown, but there was nothing there at all. Good coverage by the Tigers.
And so Bobby Wenzig on to attempt this one. Jackson State will use a timeout.
Timeout. Jackson. First charge. 30. Timeout.
These are the two teams picked at the top of the East Division. They've tied for first in the East each of the last 3 years. Jackson State last year beating Alabama State 37-34 on a last-second field goal in Montgomery, and that was the difference in getting the Tigers to the SWAC championship game as opposed to Alabama State.
And for Alabama State, they've been so close the previous 2 years. The prior year, Alabama A&M beat them in the Classic, and then they lost the game they should have won. So Alabama State's had good success during the regular season, but they've lost the crucial games that would have clinched a spot in the championship. That's something that this team has to overcome, and they feel that they've got the talent to do it this year and the mindset because they've been hurt, or they've been so close in prior years.
Wenzik hit all 3 of his tries last week, this one from 28 to put Alabama State back in front. One of the top FCS kickers in the nation gives Alabama State its first point since the first 3 minutes of this game.
What's going to happen in the polls this week? I mean, Oregon had some style points, putting on an impressive performance week 1. Then they come out to the East Coast and hammer Virginia. But Ohio State, it's tough for them. I mean, how do you go down when you win a game? And then they had an impressive win today, but Braxton Miller goes down. You wonder how that will affect them in the poll. They were number 3. Does that drop them to number 4 now? Starting to shape up to be a very interesting 2013 college football season early on.
Alexander Montgomery thought about bringing it out instead of taking the knee. Jackson State has really rolled folks in there at the kick returner position. And the Tigers back on offense at the 25, down 3.
Now you've got a 3-point lead. You wonder what's the mindset of Kevin Ramsey going to be right now for Alabama State, the defensive coordinator. They figured out a way to get by the protection, so you know they want to blitz by nature. But do you sit back and say, we got a 3-point lead, they threw some interceptions when we played zone. I'd go back to the zone until they showed that they could beat me.
Sims joins Moore in the backfield. On first down, here is Rakeem Sims. Breaks out of the tackle of Washington. Strong running for close to a first down. Courtney Berry over to make the stop. They do give him enough to move the chains.
The scouting report on Sims, he's a bruiser. He likes to go north-south, so what do? He's going sideways. Get those shoulders going in the right direction, and boom, boom, boom. That's a bruising-style running back.
Jackson State has not led in this game. Trailed 14-0 quickly. Recovered to tie it in a hurry as well before Alabama State retook the lead.
Here comes the blitz.
They bring 7, only 4 in coverage, so trying to beat it. Singleton is there, but it's broken up by Martin. Boy, they've tested the sophomore on several occasions, but Moore has not been able to take advantage, really, with the exception of that deep ball to Pendleton for the early score.
And they keep sending warning shots down the middle. Normally a team will stop when you recognize a soft spot. But that's one there where Moore just has to make a little bit better pass. He's underthrown his receivers on several occasions. But you've got to keep throwing. If that's what they're going to do, you have to keep attacking the deep middle portion of the football field to hit them for the hard play. But don't fall in love with the deep post pattern. Against a blitzing team, if you can get a crossing pattern, that can be equally as effective.
Here's Sims. He gets 3. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Darius Washington and Leland Baker combined for the tackle. You'd like to see Moore get rid of it more quickly when you got pressure like that, nobody over the top.
You want to see that. Get rid of the football, but if you've got the protection picked up, then take your time. But what I'd like to see is some slant routes, some crossing patterns. They're falling in love with going with the post, and they're baiting them. Right now, Alabama State's baiting them to throw the deep pattern on the post because your completion percentage goes down. Hit them with a slant route. Do a little pick and rub type routes that are good versus man-to-man coverage when you know you're going to get the blitz like they're showing you.
They bring 6. Moore sails the throw. Now 7 consecutive incompletions for Clayton Moore. And right right now, the blitz and all this pressure from Alabama State is working.
He's rattled right now. He's thinking about the blitz, about the protection, where it's coming from, and the Hornets have gotten into his head. I mean, this is a throw you've got to be able to make. I mean, yeah, they're going to take it to the ground, but that's his pitch and catch. One-on-one, you do that every day during the summer with your wide receiver. Clayton Moore is not seeing things too clearly right now.
Williamson's punt, a little bit off the side of his foot, not a good one. And down at the 35 and a punt of 28 yards. Jay, why don't you give me 5 more?
How about the power rankings, highly anticipated? Got some teams on the bubble. Alabama A&M, some people have in the top 5. Not quite yet for me. Howard Bison, they showed a great performance versus Eastern Michigan.
Had to get them
beat Morehouse today. They're on the bubble. I'll get in trouble for not putting them in the top 5. Alabama State, you're seeing them. You know why. Isaiah Crowell, they've got some tools. Number 4, Buddy Pugh squad up in Orangeburg. This is the year they have to be in the top 5. I think they will be. They got a good squad. Number 3, Big Blue. Tennessee State lost a tough one against Bethune-Cookman, but came back and knocked off Florida A&M. Number 2, Arkansas Pine Bluff. And number 1 still Bethune-Cookman University. Brian Jenkins' squad is the cream of the crop in terms of black college football right now.
Faber gets 9 on first down. Loeffler with a tackle. Tennessee State is who Jackson State will have next in Memphis next Saturday.
That's a big classic game right there as well.
Here's Crowell slipping through across the 45 to the 41. And just barely got tripped up by Loeffler on a gain of 16 yards.
Keep feeding him. He's a on the edge of your seat style runner. The quick burst is there. He's running hard. He's running aggressive. I was one of those kids. I like to play with my toys until they broke. I would keep playing with Isaiah Crowell if I was the offensive coordinator until he told me not to.
Armin Carter with the stop on first down. No gain. 2nd and 10.
Last I checked, it's not baseball.
Right.
There's no pitch count on the pitcher. On the running back, you can monitor the carries, but a good running back, when they get in the zone, they want the ball over and over and over again.
Second down from the 41. Faber swings it out to Crowell, who's in traffic, but accelerates forward for a magnificent 3-yard gain.
Get on the edge of your seat. There was absolutely nothing there, but he made something happen. Good job. You got to go someplace else with the football, but look at him just turn on the jets, get north-south in a hurry, and take what should have been a 3 or 4 yard loss and pick up 4 yards.
Alabama State last week was just 27% on third down. Today, only 1 of 6. Faber a deep drop, plenty of time. Lofted one downfield. Has Lucas, but overshot him. Now, Lucas had beaten the coverage, and Faber had an easy touchdown if he'd been able to drop it in there. Instead, 4th and 7, and the punt team comes out.
That was the same look that they've been getting from on defense. They come with the blitz, and this time Alabama State can't convert. Earl Lucas got behind his defender by 3 or 4 yards. That's a throw that Duhart, Favors wish he had back.
Has to reset the play clock. Swenzik comes out for the punt. Try to drop it inside the 10 and does. That'll be down at the 7 or 8 yard line where it was first contacted. Punt of 34 yards, and Jackson State down 3. He'll have the ball inside its own 10 on the other side. Has not led. Alabama State with a 3-point lead. 5+ left in this first half in Jackson, Mississippi. They're coming up on the college football halftime report. Join Matt Schick and Jason Sehorn to take it through the day's action, including a good one in the SEC, South Carolina and Georgia, Florida and Miami. The Gators getting upset down on South Beach. And plenty more with top 25 updates coming up at halftime. Leighton Moore back under center. 7 consecutive incompletions for him. Both times he's been under center today, they've run a quarterback sneak, but trying to change things up with the offense having stagnated. And straight downhill for a couple of yards.
Some coaches have the philosophy when you get backed up in your own goal line, you got a team that's very aggressive on defense, you don't have to settle for just the power running game. Why not continue to spread out the field, take the deep shots, and then punt the ball away? And if the defense intercepts the ball, it just becomes like a 50-yard punt anyway. Sometimes you've got to think a little bit outside the box. Conventional wisdom, Alabama State loves when JSU lines up in this formation anticipating the run.
Back-to-back carries for Rakeem Sims. Najee Bright makes the tackle after a gain of 5, and it'll be 3rd down and 2. Michael Showers, the injured player. Junior corner out of Jacksonville, Florida, who's already got an interception today.
This has been a very physical football game. Although Jackson State has a spread offensive title attack, when they bring in the big bruisers at running back in Sims and Gooden, very hard running on display by both teams. Coach Barlow, he's seen some good football players in his time. A lot of folks kind of forget he was a fan. Fantastic football player himself down at Alabama State and played in the National Football League. One of the bright young coaches that you see in the world of HBCU football.
He was drafted by the Jaguars, played parts of 8 seasons in the NFL as a wide receiver and a return specialist. Has a Super Bowl ring with the 2002. So good to see Showers up and out of there on his own power. 3rd down and 2. They come straight downhill with Sims, who's stacked up at the 15-yard line and is short of the 1st down.
And that was good swarming defense. They call themselves the Swarming Hornets. You've got a running back with plenty of momentum going forward, and there were 4 white jerseys to come make the hit. So he's got the momentum going. Watch everybody swarm to the football, not just one taking them on, but when you've got 3 or 4 white jerseys there, he can't square up his shoulders. He can't just pick one person to hit. Does a good job of slowing down that momentum and stopping Jackson State from picking up a 1st down. Ramsey, you talk about him. He's got good pedigree. He was at Texas Southern, as you mentioned earlier. Took that program to one of the top defenses in the country with this blitz style of play. He's got expertise all over the place. And he's a guy that he's going to get another shot to be a head coach somewhere, particularly if his defense can hold up and lead them to a championship.
Boy, we've seen some bad punting in this